Ah.
It always does that. It always vanishes for a second.
It goes off and then it comes back on, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, this is no frills. This is, you know, just your basic abductee stuff. You know, run of the mill. Well, you know, sometimes when I watch YouTube videos and you've got all these like
Yeah.
birds and stuff, and I'm like, come on.
Yeah, start.
So I'm a bit like, can we just get on with it? Like, you know.
Yeah.
Basically, because I'm just, I don't know if it's laziness, impatience, or whatever. When it comes to sitting and editing videos, I just kind of like,
yeah. Throw it to one side.
Like I'm like, oh no. So anyway, if I had a social media manager of some sort, they would quickly have a nervous breakdown, and we can't be doing that to anyone. So yeah, this is how it is, and this is how it rolls.
Yeah.
And to recap, back to the end of the last one. Rewind. It was when you were playing hide and seek in the caravan park, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I'd finished that one, and
yeah.
So then I had a lot going on at age 43. So it kind of stopped for a few years after 44, 46, 45. You know, and then I've had a break.
You know, like because someone said to me today, when you were describing what was going on at Anne's, when you said that I was on the bed and I was like that, and you were off flying through the sky. No, I have no recollection. I don't have any recollection of that. So yes, it's
right that.
Yeah. So it's really, really weird. And feels very strange to have somebody telling you something about yourself like that when you just don't have any recollection of it. It's a very strange
thing. Because you were flopping like that. As soon as you saw that thing, that little grey side of me, and I said, it's there, isn't it? And I turned my head really slow. I just went, whoosh, that's when I felt the grab on my feet and a pull. And when I looked at you again, you were like that. So, no, you won't see me going.
Somebody said something about the way that I was just sort of, I had not much of an expression on my face when you were saying that about me, but it's because it's not in me, it's not in here. And like when you're telling me, I'm sort of like, I'm detached from it completely because it's not in my head. So I can't feel it. It does feel very weird. It does feel very strange to have somebody saying something about yourself. But I think just the way that I've trained myself to think over the years, I don't go to certain places because there's literally 0 point. There's no point in me sitting and worrying over that thing that I can't remember and creating a load of trauma in myself.
Yeah.
Yes, you know, I've got enough trauma to deal with. So there's things that, like, one time when I found myself with my legs in the air, you might have heard of that one, but I don't go there either because what can I possibly know from that situation? Not a lot. But my brain could conjure up a billion scenarios, and every single one of them would be traumatic, even though they were just imaginings. I would feel them. So I'm good at not doing that to myself. So that's why I just sat there and I wasn't going like, or whatever you expected me to be doing, because I don't know what you expect my face to do.
I was talking anyway. No, I jibber jabber on. Under normal circumstances, I'd have gone, Sacha, what you doing? I'm talking to you. Don't be rude. But I didn't. I just jibber jabber on. And that wasn't normal. So none of it were, you know what I mean?
Would have gone, you listening?
Yeah. So you didn't. And we're just looking at you. No.
But I don't remember any of it doesn't feel like my experience because I've literally no recall, and my body doesn't freak out either. I think when you first told me, it made me a bit, trembly, but like now, I think I've just sort of put it in that place wherever it goes in my brain that it's like, we don't need to unlock this box because the only thing in there is your imaginings, and every single one of them is going to do you damage. So we're not opening the box. So that's why.
Yeah.
This just does what it does. So. Next. Okay. So where are we at now? So.
Hang on, because I've got mixed up. I don't know which comes first because I know these are all age 43, but I've had to, because I'm writing all these years, I've written on scrappy bits of paper. I've had to kind of put them in order best way I can. When I woke up, bring them down. Can
I ask you a question before you start?
Yeah.
Since you got in touch with me and then joined the UFO community, do you feel that your experiences have become more often and more intense, or about the same?
It's about the same, on and off. No, not any worse, not any better. It's just the same. But I've come to learn. The one thing is that I've come to learn to accept that I'm not the only one, which makes me feel 100% better and less fearful. It don't make me less fearful while I'm there, but while sat there thinking about it, I'm less fearful, so.
My experience is ramped up, you see, when I joined the community. So I just wondered if you'd felt that there'd been any sort of increase in your activity, right? I think that's something that I'm going to ask everybody. Right.
Yeah, because I had bouts, a lot going on age 12, 13, 14. I wasn't in any group then because I was only one. And then, 43, 43, 43, 43, 44, 45, I had a massive, and that was during the time that, a year after meeting you. So, 41, 42, 43, and I had a big thing going on. And then over the past few years, it's calmed right down. I know that it'll happen again. I know it will, but it hasn't got any worse. It hasn't got any better. It's just as it was before that moment. It's gone right down. And, I know it'll come back up again.
We'll have to do little graphs, but because I want to know if some of it's to do like with ages, because I've had 5 kids, so I've seen stuff going on with them, and it always seems to be at particular ages, and it's ages at stages of development. So I don't know if it's something to do with maybe hormones or something to do with the way that they start processing things or whatever. But I want to kind of plot a graph of what ages people remember having their experiences and see if there is a correlation with that between us. Say like 12 seems to be a year for quite a few people. 5 seems to be 5 and 12, and then in the 20s. So I would like to kind of plot a graph between the people that I talk to. No, I don't want to ask the internet because you can't get accuracy from asking just anybody, because I just want to know between us, the people that we know are legit, if they can remember particular ages or stages, and not necessarily ET stuff, because I had loads of paranormal stuff, loads of it, more than I've seen UFOs, but nothing. I don't have any mega memories apart from just ghosts and things like that. So I want to kind of collect data from talking to you and my stuff. There's a few other people that I know have got things that really need to be put into the pile of what could be, you know, especially technologies, things, and the fact that, like, with Phil Kinsella, he's seen the Greys and the Reptilians together, so they are working together. They're not different factions, or there might be factions, but there is a faction where they are working together and they're working with people as well.
Yeah.
Something going on there, but we'll probably never know what, but we can at least try and get a little glimpse of something, can't we?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we'll do a graph definitely and chat. It has to go by year, really, more than age. I don't know, both, isn't it?
Well, no, I want to know about ages. I want to know if it's like some correlation to hormones, different hormonal stages, like, because that's all our bodies are ruled by, but you get to a certain age and different hormones come about. So I don't know if something that they're doing is harvesting hormones, because synthetic ones really probably won't be what they need for what they need it for. And if there is some sort of breeding program and they've got children that are hybrids, then they might need stuff at certain ages for them from, us. So I don't know.
What did change, though, the one thing that did change, when I had the total hysterectomy and half my bloody organs missing, they changed the way that they went about stuff. And so it was more of they weren't as rough. I'd come with these bruises and triangles, but after that it changed. Like they really weren't as rough as what they were manhandling wise. So it was more that they stood at the side of me and not ragged. They did rag me about and they shoved me head over bed and stuff like that, but it wasn't as manhandle. It was more showing me stuff, so whether I had something done, I don't know, previous to hysterectomy. I can't tell you that. So.
No. Well, I know that I had an experience when I woke up with my legs in the air and my arms in the air. An impossible angle, but still in my sleepiness, I laughed because I thought I was acting out some sort of crazy dream. And I went to put my limbs back down. I couldn't feel my body. It wasn't like there was any resistance or any sleep paralysis, because in sleep paralysis you can feel your body being crushed. This was just nothing. And there was somebody very tall and thin stood between my feet, and I'm asking them to put the light on, like that, because I thought if they put the light on, I'll snap out of this.
Yeah.
The brain's still trying to kind of make sense of something.
Normalized
hang on a minute, who is this person? Because I live on my own, and why isn't my room bright orange? Because there's a street light. There was a street light outside my bedroom window, so it should have been orange. So it was very dark grey, almost misty. And I don't know if this sort of thing was, I don't know if it was because my eyelids were almost shut and I could see them, or if it was a curved roof. And I had a green laser pointed on my inner arm. And I've got more to say on that, but that's at a later date. But there was somebody in between my legs doing something to me down there. And I don't ever go there. That's another thing in that box, because I can't know. And all I can do is imagine, especially after reading what other people have gone through and what they've been shown and seen. I don't want to do that to myself. So, there's a lot of where we have to just put a full stop after an experience, don't we, and move on, because the alternative, insanity, it's facing insanity every day. So, yeah, my cat's whining. Have you heard him?
No, I can't hear her. No, just no.
Anyway.
No, usually mine that are carrying on. It's yours today.
Oh, what are you talking about that for? It's cats to talk. So, right, on to you, never mind me.
Right, okay. So we got past the Great Yarmouth caravan park incident where the small grey cut in front of me, playing hide and seek. Anyway, so the next one is this age 43 as well. So this is like a mass abduction in some woods. Don't know where the woods are. Never been to them. Don't know the people that were with me. And these a lot of American people, because they're kind of talking really slow and their actions are slow, but mine seemed to be normal. I won't slow down. It was like watching, but maybe if they were watching me, I might have looked like I was slow, you know. And but yeah, there were a lot of Americans and a mixed English and American accents. So don't know where these woods were, but there was sort of the trees that you do get in America, what they call that, like them redwoods or whatever they call them, that we don't get them here, that, you know, absolutely huge. Anyway, I don't know how this started. I don't even know how it started. But anyway, all I remember is being in amongst this crowd who were like maybe a metre apart from each other. And, you know, no two were together. We're all separate, and they all had night clothes on. And some of them were naked. So I'm assuming that, you know, this is how they slept, either with the night clothes on or naked. So, you know. And I don't know what I had on. I wasn't compelled to look down at that. So anyway, what I saw just right close was like what I could describe as a moon on the floor, but it didn't have the pattern of the moon. You know, you get them little, you know what I mean, on moon. But it was like dark in patches and then glowed really bright in others, and so you can, you know what I mean, get a picture of what I'm trying to say. And it was probably, it wasn't big, it was maybe about 4 meters by 4 meters height. And I just remember sitting then getting panicky, and I don't know whether I fell back, but there was like a mound of grass going up, you know, like a bank sort of thing. And I fell kind of back or sat back, I don't know. And I had my knees up, and I was like, you know, with my knees in air, with my elbows leaning on my knees. And I was getting like a bit, feeling that drugged up, you know what I mean? So I just remember crying, sat there crying and crying and crying and watching these people kind of moving about. Don't seem to be going anywhere. They're just moving about aimlessly. And so I remember these about 8 greys kind of coming towards me really fast, like that motion. And they all stood in a row, but, you know, in a kind of circle sort of thing, but, you know, semicircle. And they all looked down at me, and all at once, telepathically, they all said, remember, and they kept repeating it, remember, remember. And I know they were all saying it at once, but I was saying telepathically, I can't remember, because they'd said one word, and I do not know to this day what this word was. It was one word, and I'm not supposed to remember, obviously, because they kept saying to remember, and then they'd repeat this word, and they'd remember, repeat the word. And every time they said it, my mind's thinking, remember what the word said for the next time they're going to say it. They said it, nope, gone, can't remember it, straight away. And then I kind of come round, blacked out, whatever happened, I don't know after that. But to this day, I can't remember what that one word was. But they were telling me to remember it, and I was saying I can't remember it and crying. So that was that. I don't know.
I remember once seeing something, which I'll talk about at a later date, but it was all squiggles and black lines and dots at the bottom of a painting. And when I moved to be in front of it, it changed into words, and they all scrolled up. Yeah. And as they got to the top, the lines got smaller and smaller till they turned into birds and flew off into the corner. If hypnosis worked on me, I would want to go back and read what it actually said on that painting and remember the word blessings. The only reason I can remember that word is because I can't stand it. It makes me cringe when people say it. I just think, please.
Please.
You know, it made me feel uncomfortable, and that's why I remembered it. So I'd love to know. I'd love to know, even if it was my subconscious telling me something. I want to know. If I was having a word with myself, I want to know what I was saying. I can't remember, but that involved greys. So it's quite a convoluted story. But anyway, that's just a bit of it. But yeah, I wish hypnosis would work, and I wish it was something that was literally like rewinding your brain to a point in time so you could press play and see it all, because I mean, nobody can get me. I'm like that. No.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to remember. Leave me alone. So,
no, but so the second part of this is the night after, and I've been abducted again into the woods. And I remember this time I did fall asleep. I'd gone to bed, but it were like a flash of light in my bedroom. I'd gone to sleep, not gone to sleep, but I was kind of my eyes shut, ready to go to sleep. And I remember this, and I kind of woke, you know what I mean? And again, I'm in that woods, the same woods, same people. Now, whether it followed on from that night, but then why would I dream it the night after? You know what I mean? I don't get it.
So then, night after night for short periods of time, not forever, like everyone's like, I get abducted every night. But they do come, and they do like for a few months at a time sometimes, mess about with you. And so,
So anyway, I see the same thing. The moon on the floor again. This like 4 metre by 4 metre moon. I knew it were a different time, you know, but yet it were like, oh, it's that moon again. And I remember saying to this man who was stood next to me, didn't we have this last night or something? It was something like that. And he said, yeah, shut up. Like this. And I was like, what? And it was like, I don't remember much about this one, but all I remember is waking up and I had the square patch on my arm, perfectly square patch. I've got a photo of it. I can show you it. That's the one where people say, well, it looks like a Nicorette patch. I don't want to stop smoking. I've no reason to wear one of them.
Oh, you know,
rounded corners for a start. Mine was perfectly square, and I had bruises all on my arm. You know, finger bruises, fingertip bruises.
Yeah, I remember the pictures.
That's but I have got the pictures. Yeah. So if anyone wants to see them, give us a shout. I'll show you pictures.
I can put them on as a thumbnail, you know, at the beginning of the video.
Mm-hmm. Well, we could when I've done abductions things, I can give them to you, and you can put them on. You know.
Well, I need to update each video with the little tags of what we've talked about in it as well. So we're not polished.
No, we're not, and we don't care.
Bothered.
It's all random. Anyway, so then the next one is the one that I kicked into cabinet.
Oh, yeah.
The first time I actually.
Lots of people want to do it, but they don't get the chance.
Well, I nearly didn't. It was fucking so slow and so heavy. So I goes to bed again, and next minute there's a grey stood. It wasn't right next to me here. It were a bit, you know, like maybe 5 feet away from my bed, and there were 2 smaller ones at the other side of the bed. So 2 at Matt's side of bed, and this one now again. He looks like the taller ones, the ones at that side, what I call rookies, like they're overlookers and watching and what goes on. I don't know whether they do or not. I ain't saying they do, but that's what I call them anyway, because I don't seem to do much. Anyway, so I can't remember much. It's getting so vague, and now it's like what. And I remember I looked at him, and I kind of opened my eyes, looked at him, and he's there, boom. Even though it were about 5 foot away, it felt like his face were right here. You know, it wasn't bent over or out like that, but I could still see his body there, but his face were here then. You know what I mean? It kind of.
Yeah.
So what happened after that? It's something like.
You were sat on the bed, edge of the bed.
No. I were lying on my back, and I never lie on my back. It's like when I woke up at Andrews and it's lying on my back. And I thought, no, I'm not having this. I'm not having it. And I lifted my leg, and it were really, really, really heavy. Really heavy. And it's like it's gone back down again. And I thought, right. But I think he knew what I was going to do, what I was tempted to do at that moment. And he got my head from the back there, put his hand, because I felt it.
Not when that happens.
Straight over, edge of bed. Boom, so my head is hanging over the edge of the bed. So I'm basically looking at the floor, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure whether I put my head back. I can't remember now. I put my head back or what. But anyway, all I remember then is, right, no, not having it. I lifted my foot, and it was so hard. And I'm watching myself doing it, lifting my leg up. And he's in the right place to kick him. You know what I mean? He's like 5 feet away. So, you know, that's about my length anyway. And my height. So I lift me really, 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 really slow. It's like really slow. And I just kicked him. But it wasn't a hard kick. I didn't have the strength to boot him, and you know, he's gone into flying into, you know, my little cabinet. There was no way I had that strength to do that. So, you know, I've kicked him and like this, but it's like a full-on with foot. So I've gone boom with my foot, but it ain't, you know, it's really slow. And he's gone up into the air, curled up into a ball. So, you know, like a little head jog, you know what I mean? The curl into a ball. And he's tucked his head in. He's gone like that, tucked his head in, right tight little ball. Gone into the cabinet. Now, when I say gone into the cabinet, is blended into the cabinet, you know, so like the cabinet's kind of just made of nothing. And I'm looking, you know, like, what is it? You know what I mean? I knew that I hadn't kicked him that hard. Yeah. And the next minute, his face, this face, then it kind of goes, all I can see then is cabinet. So it looks like he is inside the cabinet, faded into it. So next minute, this face comes where the drawers are. This face starts appearing. A cat comes out like that. So, you know what I mean? I went, oh, calling the cat. And then I realised, and I thought, I don't have any stripy cats. It had stripes like a tiger. Do you get what I mean?
Oh.
I don't have a stripy cat. But, and then it was that instant where it'd gone whoosh, right up to me again. Didn't see that motion of coming towards me, because it's so bloody quick, it's gone doof, doof. But I saw him coming.
I've had his time to think.
And he's gone, with hand straight on my forehead. I'm out.
Yeah.
That's, what the hell?
It's like when I reacted to that little girl who was stood by that reptilian, like reacting like in a normal way as you would to a child, like you're reacting like you would to a cat in the most bizarre circumstances. It's crazy how monkey brain tries to make everything normal.
I mean, why would he think he were a cat anyway? Why would he not know that my cats are black and white? Why would he not know that? You know what I mean? Why present
That
himself
you
as a fucking
nobody
strapping
knew that
cat?
you're the cat lady, so
I don't. Yeah, but whose cat were he based on? I've no idea. You know.
no.
So bizarre.
Oh, they're all bizarre, aren't they?
I'm having to cross them off with me Sharpie.
I found something on. I think it might be in like Word files or something. You know, like you have a cloud
Yeah.
with Microsoft, and you put. I don't even know what's in mine. I think this is where it is, where I wrote down all of the different weird experiences that I'd had, including the ghosty ones.
Yeah.
And it went on and on and on and on. And then I found it a few years ago and I read it and I thought, oh my God, I'd forgotten half of this.
Yeah.
I
And
need to find it because just so much goes on. But it's not like we've had a million more weird experiences. It's just life has happened on top. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes it throws you. So,
I can't.
like,
As I'm getting older and years are passing, you know, and these abductions, I'm forgetting bits of stuff, but yet I'm remembering other bits of stuff. Which you know what I mean?
People would think, well, how can you not remember something that important? But it's like, well,
because I'm getting up for work. Trauma one. I'm getting to work.
Everything, doesn't it? In the way that you think, and you still have to get up and go to work, or you still have to do whatever with your kids. Or
so
I'm diary because I never wanted to read it back. I didn't want to know what my life was. Now I wish I had. I might have a better picture of things, but at the same time, then I'd probably be. Oh, I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I've got more than I can handle in my head.
Oh, okay.
Right, where are we off next?
I'm going in a white kitchen with Americans again. The thing is, I don't know any Americans. But I'm in America again, and I'm sit with friends, and I know the names off by heart. You know, I know them all, but not in this life. But I know them because I've met them in other scenarios in abduction stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I'm sat in this white kitchen. I don't know how it starts, but I'm sat in this white kitchen. It's really bright, white, furniture's white, and the chairs are white, tables white, and there's a lot of blonde-haired people sat with me. And there's one particular girl, and she's got long blonde hair, and she's been with me a few times, you know, or I've seen her at a distance. And I'm sat next to this girl, and we were talking away, and then the next minute, there's some blue lights. I don't know whose kitchen it was. Anyway, there's some blue lights.
What do you mean, blue lights?
Blue lights coming from the ceiling, like searchlights.
All
coming
right.
from the but I can't see obviously where they're coming from because what can penetrate a ceiling, you know? But it's like as if so these lights are going, you know, scattering about like searching, and a bit like torchlight. They want like definite tubes, you know what I mean? There's like torchlight, and then somebody said, "Oh shit, they're here again," and I'm like, "What's here? I didn't know what was going on." And then it hit me. One of these blue lights hit me. But I don't know how I managed to get from the seat bit to the back of the chair, and I were holding on to the wooden top bit of the chair. I don't even know why I did that, unless in my subconscious I knew what was going to happen. And I felt the blue light had got me. It had covered me. It had sparkly shimmer to it, and it like lit my leg. I could feel back of my legs. It like it wasn't strong enough to lift the chair up with me, if you know what I mean. If I'd have been stood on my own, I could have gone up, but because I was it was like as if I'm holding on to a chair, but the chair's too heavy for it to lift. So back of my legs started going up. So now I'm holding onto this chair and my legs are up here. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like screaming, you know, to get me down, help me, get me down. And everyone had gone to the other side of the room, away from me, because you could see them all panicking, and you know, girls were screaming and boys were like, you know, it's okay, calm down. And next minute, it's kind of got a full hold on me, and I let go of the back of the chair, and then I'm floating. I don't know how I'd got onto my front. I don't know when that took place. I don't know, but my face and body, I could see my toes when I looked down, and my face is right next to the ceiling like that. All my body is next to the ceiling. And I felt totally weightless, and that's it, just blackout. That's it, gone, finished. Make what you will of it.
Yeah. It's interesting that it's like the people that you know that you don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. You know, this girl with long blonde hair is actually my friend in previous things, or in that life, you know. And whether or not I've ever bumped into her before, you know, during this has been happened, I've no idea, because it's not like I've gone out looking for her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then we've got the one with the purple robe and the eyes that change.
Mad eye. Yeah.
That's a funny one. So, do you want me to go on to that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, I've gone to bed, and whether or not I went to sleep, I don't know. And there's a grey. Oh, it's like I'm in a dentist chair. Yeah, dentist chair. And I see some like tools, you know, like your typical dentist stuff with your tools next to you. You know what I mean? Hey?
I've been there. Yeah.
This is the first time I've had it, though, the dentist chair experience, you know. And there was a man stood by my door. Now, between my bed, you know my bedroom, between my bed and my door is not much distance at all, is it? But it looked like it were a long way away, you know what I mean? My feet even looked like they were a long way. Everything
my arm felt like it was about 20 foot long when I was in that dentist chair. I'm pretty sure drugs are involved in that scenario. For that distortion, like ketamine or something.
It felt like ketamine. Anyway, so and I'm the tall. I mean, when I say tall, grey, what tall? Because I remember him having to bend over like this. But he was like a more of the. Excuse me. It was more like a not a grey. It was not a tan. I can't explain it.
Good ones, like a mushroomy colour, like not quite white. I've seen one of them, yeah.
It was like that, but a bit darker than a mushroomy colour. So and he was there, and there's a man straightforward at my door who's got a beard. He's got a beard, but you know, it's kind of gone up, right thick, right trimmed.
Jesus beard.
You what?
A Jesus beard.
I don't know what it is. Anyway, right. So, and these, I don't know. So, I mean, so anyway, and I remember he has a collar, a high purple collar. when I looked at the rest of him, he's got, I call it Quality Street purple, because it's like the rappers in Quality Street. It is exactly that purple. And so this eye collar comes right up here. That, you know, something that really bugged me, and I'd get scissors and cut it off. But and this robe, and it doesn't have arms. It's just like a robe that's, you know, gone over him, and his hair had like is it called a widow's peak? Something comes down like, but it were really back, and he had really dark, short hair, but thick hair. You could see it was thick. And I don't know what this alien grey thing were doing at the side of me, but all of a sudden I noticed this eyes of this, even though it looked far away, I could see his piercing blue eyes, really light blue eyes on this man with purple robe. And it was like as if I were drawn to him. So that instant when I thought, oh, his eyes, I'd gone, you know, like they usually go like that. I'd gone, and the face is right in front of his. Right? I don't know whether I was still sat on this bloody dentist chair or I'd stood up. I have no idea. But my face is there.
It's telepathy, because the grey did that with me. I didn't go anywhere near that grey, but I got zoom close-ups of certain things that it had on. So I think that's something that they do mentally.
Yeah.
Telepathically, that's part of telepathy with imagery.
So, yeah. So I noticed his eyes, and his eyes was just a slightly bit bigger than ours, but a normal shape. You know, they were not about them. But they did have instead of us having the round pupil, they did have the like a cat's eye pupil.
Yeah, like
you know, the slit pupil, and the blue bit was bigger than ours. So you could only see tiny bit of white at each side, and in the blue bit it looked pixelated, and so it kept moving about this, but they were all different hues of blue. So you get a light blue, medium blue, dark blue, you know what I mean? There'd be so many different hues of this blue. Yeah, but the one square pixelated, they were like rectangle, and so they went each other. But it's like as if they moved over in positions, then they'd go up and go like that, and down and up and down, and they go like that, and I would just spawn into. But it was like as if I were getting closer and closer and closer till I was like literally there at his eyes. And then that's it, gone, don't remember how else. But these eyes and this man with this robe, and first time I saw it, last time I saw it, so, and the eyes, what's all that about when it looks so pixelated, you know, and they're moving about, and
Where were you? In your room? You were in your house still?
Yeah.
But you're in a dentist chair, and like that dentist chair, they're not coming into our front door with dentist chairs.
No, they're not. So I don't believe we're in my room.
But when we look around, it looks like our own surroundings. Well, not to me, because when I was in the dentist chair, all I could see was blue. Everything was this really brilliant, bright blue. And but apart from what I could see, it was almost like, you know, like they have green screen. It was almost like it was blue, but it kind of blended over things. But I could still see stuff. Like I saw the thing that was plotting the graph kind of come out of the blue. So it was like, because I'd forgotten about that for a little while. And then when I remembered, I was so shocked. Like, how could I have forgotten seeing that? But it was like the blue moved apart, and there was this machine, but still all around everything was bright blue while I was sat in the dentist chair. So they play scenarios out around us. You know, I've heard it from so many. You know, from Anne with her dog, and Brett Oldham with his stepdad. You know, there's lots of people who've had these things playing out, you know. But we're not at home. Sometimes they do stuff to us when we're at home, but you know, but they don't want to be on this planet. They don't want to be, you know, they must have some way of taking us away. Like, there's a thing that used to happen to me years ago. It doesn't happen anymore because I stopped fighting it, and it would be like woof, 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 and it'd be that, but it'd be an intense pressure, and your heart is going bum, 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 and then it just feels like you can hear this like squelching noise, and then all of a sudden it's like you've been pulled backwards through the base of your skull, through the bed, and that's what it feels like, being sucked really brutally out of your body. So I don't really know what that is, but at that time, so many people were reporting having that. I've not heard so many people saying it these days, but my son downstairs, and he would say that is going on. And once, when he was 8, he told me that if it didn't stop, he was going to kill himself. You know, this falling back through the bed, panicking, like freaking out, properly freaking out. Now, that was in a period of time in the 90s and in the early 2000s, but it's that woof, 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 and it seems to feel like it's in the air, and the noise, I'm pretty sure it's actually pressure change, and it's the eardrum, skin of the eardrum going feel it. And I think it's ramping up because they work on a faster frequency than we do. I mean, they can do 100 in 1 second. So if they're integrating with us in any kind of way, like with the reptilians, when they integrate inside us, I don't know if we have to kind of be speeded up a little bit for that mesh to happen, or if it's some kind of, I know it sounds crass, don't know exactly how to explain it, soul extraction or mind extraction, whatever our mind is, it can leave the body. Like NDEs prove this, it can leave the body, it can see 360, it can see and know everything that's going on, and then it can come back into the body and then out of the mouth, everything that this thing has seen when you were no heart, for example, and your body completely clinically dead, but you're not. And so that bit that is involved in the NDE, I think that when we're not being interfered with physically or we're taken somewhere else, that's what they're working with. And I think that's our consciousness. Our consciousness, and that is what they're working with a lot of the time.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just writing something down because I forgot one. How can I forget this? The main one of how the eyes work, but that'll come later.
I'm not going to let you forget about that, because I got the clothes. I got the wear clothes and the helmet, and you got how the eyes work. So that is the one that I know that quite a few people are interested in, and some interesting people are interested in that information. I can't say who.
Right.
So already, I've told you, but I can't say publicly.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted you to know who that information was going to, but I find it interesting that people like that need the information from a couple of housewives. And it tells me two things. One, they know it's going on. They believe the greys are real.
Yeah.
Two, they don't know shit.
Yes.
Don't know. So the grand deception and the cover up for me is not a cover up of information. It's a cover up of a lack of information. That's my feeling. So yeah, that's going to be an interesting it's going to be a big blah anyway.
So you are.
I said it's super fascinating. Well, what's next?
So I'll do one more, and then we're going to have a break.
Cold.
I know, I need to make a brew. Anyway, so the next one is I've gone to bed, dream, question it. No, because it didn't. So I know they're not dreams.
No, I know. You don't have to explain to me. I know the difference between dreaming and being awake.
Right, so I had the dream today and it was dead flipping weird, but it, these were about dresses and something overnight. You know what I mean? So I knew that was a dream because it was so stupid. So anyway, so go to sleep, dream, questionnaire. So anyway, next minute I'm in a corridor, a rounded white, massive corridor. And it's like as if I'm floating down. I don't know whether I've just entered it, how long I've been there, or I've floated up from it. I don't know. But I couldn't see my body. I had no impulse to look down at my body. But I knew it. You what?
Probably that mind wandering that I was just talking about.
Yeah.
That's actually a thing, isn't it?
It was and it was the roundedness of the corridor. It went round and it were also round, and just like the other one where I'm operating the craft, I could see the windows, but it was in the dark at this point. It is dark, so I'm seeing the roundness of the window ledge mold thing, and I sees I sees three men further down this rounded corridor just before it went to a point where I couldn't see. And they had black suits on. This is like an old cliche, you know what I mean? Black suited, big hat.
Men in black.
You are?
Men in black.
Yeah, right. And it's so stupid, right? So I sees this. I hadn't seen it since, except, the times when I'd actually saw mibs, what you call them, but they were dressed normal. And I knew that they were following me. And I approached one of them and said, "No, what you're doing?" And they never came back. So, and there's a bleep soul damp phone. And so anyway, so these three men, and they had the black suits on, they had the white shirt, tie, bigger hat with a brim. And they were all stood like in a triangle formation. And they wasn't talking, they were just like staring at each other. Tell you what it's like, them is it angels off at Doctor Who, if they all stare at each other,
Angels.
It were a bit like that from Doctor Who, where they all stare at each other and stop. But it was that sort of thing. And I'm coming down at this point, I'm floating down to floor level. Now, the actual height of this wasn't that big, but it seemed to take me ages to get down. As a child of yours just gone past. It's either that or a little spirit or something. So anyway...
it's not a spirit, it's a child.
I saw. Anyway, right, so it took me ages to get down, even though I was, floating at normal... Well, I do float at normal pace, but, So... in my other things, are normal.
Go on, pal.
Is that silent move?
Yeah, I was going to sit down and get comfy and get settled in and have a little chill and a listen. Like, don't think so. This is not age appropriate. Child of mine. Disappear. Ready for a ball might be a while.
Okay.
Neighbours are screaming as well.
We're arguing or
kids. Bedtime. I don't want to go to bed. Anyway, right. We can carry on now.
Right. So one of them, eventually I lands on the floor, not my head. I knew that there were a body somewhere, but I didn't look. It's not like my head were there. And I just, you know what I mean? And one of them turned its head and looked directly at me, lifted up, because they're kind of the hats, like below here. So when they look up, obviously, brim goes up, but they have to kind of lift it more up like that. It's weird. Or either that or they've moved it somehow, the hat. And the greys, the big eyes, big black eyes. And I thought, oh, fuck, they've seen me, right? Like you say, no frills, so there might be a bit of swearing. Oh, fuck, they've seen me. But during this moment, I sees an opening next to me. Whether it was there before, I don't know, because I was still concentrating on these three that were stood before me. And it was like a slid, not walked into it. It was like cha-cha slide, wouldn't I? You know what I mean? Woo, it's sliding into this room. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? Right, smooth move. Anyway, and it was, now all I can describe it is a very subtle blue light, very subtle. And it was all pitch black around the edges. And it's, oh, I can't explain. You could just barely see a few feet in front of you. It was that subtle with this light. And I remember movement, just kind of someone pulling back, you know, like as if somebody's been shocked and like, oh, shit, move back. And when I looked like that, there was this tallish figure, a bit taller than me, and a small one. These aren't greys. These are what I call trumpet mouths, because the mouths come out like a trumpet with an O, you know, O-shaped mouth. And they had tiny little beady eyes, little black, tiny little black eyes. Not to be scared of, you know. And I think it's, with the greys, I think it's more of the eyes that are like so prominent that you're shocked by them. But these, nothing. And there was like, even though the blue light was cast on them, they were like blobby. They had arms. I don't recall seeing feet, but they had arms, and they were like a blobby sort of, I can't explain. Just a blobby sort. They had a head, you know, long neck, but the rest of it were like a blobby sort of shape with arms, long arms. And they were bluey green, but more green. So I don't know whether that blue light changed the look of the colour of it, or what actually this bluey green colour. I don't know. And it was like, it was this, and to me it said mother and child, right? Might not have been. And it pulled it away, and that's when I noticed this child, when she kind of pulled back, I knew it was a female. Some reason I knew that was a female. And so its mouth were right, it were right long, and then it'd come wide like a trumpet round. And I said, it's okay, I'm not, you know what I mean, don't be frightened of me, don't be frightened of me. And I put my hands up like that. And this child, she put her arms kind of round, you know, that, you know, this bit here.
Yeah.
Pulled it towards her. And this child had what, it looked exactly like her, but it was childlike, child form, child height. And it was holding around, I don't even know what this thing is, but it was holding around sort of disc in its hand with like another disc in between, and the disc in middle was like rotating, really fast rotating, but the outer one, which we're holding, kept still, and it held it kind of pulled it up and held it like that to its ear. I ain't got a clue what that was. I don't have a clue what that was. But yeah, it's just held it to its ear like that. And then I just blacked out, woke up. That's all I remember of that. But yeah.
I remember you saying that it made you feel really sad.
It's sad, yeah, because I was getting it off them. And I think at one point it sounded like it was like a prison cell.
Is that what you felt? Yeah.
Like being held, you know. And it was sad, because I remember waking up remembering it and crying, you know what I mean? feeling for them, how they were feeling, not how I were feeling. It was like empathy. You're picking up off their emotions, you know. And but whatever this child thing were holding, and it went like that. It might have been the thing that kind of made me black out, or something might have come behind me. I've no idea.
Yeah. Okay, let's stop. Get another drink. What we're on to next?
Hey?
What's next?
Be on I've got to find it now because it's on this. Now this one I'll have to read out. I'm going to read it. It's saying it because it's because that I wrote that when I just woke up. So
okay.
Yeah.
Cliffhanger.
Okay. Great time. All right. See you.